Hey friends, it's Stephanie from Behind the Designs, and it is the last week of August, so it was my plan to share with you a quick flip of some of my journals and plan books that I have completed so far. So I just thought it would be a fun thing to do, take a look back, and you can kind of see how I plan and journal. All right, so I had this weekend, got a bug in my bonnet, as they may say, and decided I was going to reconfigure my craft room again. I cannot tell you how many times I've reconfigured it, but I just needed to, I wanted to test an idea out. So I've talked to you about, if you've watched my craft room tour, I'll try and remember to link it above and then also link it below. But you can kind of see, like, my room was set up so I could go around kind of a project table. And I wanted to take that project table and make it an L shape to my desk. So I'm giving that a test, but everything beyond the desk is in shambles. And this is a new setup. So hopefully the lighting's good, microphone's working, and all that. So keeping my fingers crossed it's good. So let me dive in. I have, and I may have shown some of these before, but I'm just going to quick show them again. So these are what I had been calling my nature journals. And as you know, for fall, for the most part, I started it in August. I was using my B6 Slim Zuri for kind of like my annual plan. I was giving it a test to it. So this is, let me go through them. This is a retired collaboration with Chic Sparrow and Planner Perfect way back in the day. As you can see, her daisy artwork, it has a little pocket. Again, this was limited and it's no longer available. I did get this from Planner Perfect. It is the B6 Slim Molly. And then this is a B6 Slim Zuri. These are all from Planner Perfect, as are all the journals. So be sure, if you haven't used the code, grab my code, put together an entire planner for yourself, cover in at least 3 books, whether they be annual, plan book, and journal, or all journals. But get your whole setup. Don't forget to grab charm, and you'll be good to go. All right, so these are the nature journals. I'm going to flip through them. These are my, as you can see, maybe. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Let's put these up here. I also have my May, June, and July plan book. So this is the monthly plan book that comes in the kit, and I'll flip those as well. So let me set these aside. We'll save those till last. Ooh, as you can see, I'm already banging things and just trying to get everything in the space I have. All right, so let's start out with this one. I'm just going to dive right in because there's a lot of pages, and I don't want to have to not flip something. So I did close or cover up some things because, again, private information. But this is, I've taken out all the books from here. As you know, this was my nature journal. I used to have 4 journals in it, 1 for each season. But they start to get thick after a while. So I broke them out into additional covers. And I did finally just order a winter cover, so that's on its way. And then we're going to talk about this at the very end of the video. Hopefully I remember. Okay, so this is my spring book, and I just did a little cover page. This is a watercolor stamp and wax seal. It was about the day that we put my mother's ashes to rest. So, clearly I've covered some things up. But I love the green and purple. We both love the color purple, so it went really sweet with it. This is also like a bird page I did. I was talking about the birds on our porch, that come and visit. And here is my Granny Smith apple tree. I believe I've shown this before, and I still have yet to take the leap to write on it because I love it so much. But this is our apple tree in the backyard. And this was, I forgot to cover that. This was a journal page I did in watercolor. There's like a bunny who would come and land on our pathway, you know, and hop along. So in our bleeding hearts, I kind of did just freehand. And then you've seen this, I believe, before, the beefsteak tomatoes that we planted. This is not my drawing. I've told you I cannot draw. So I had my daughter draw that. And then this is a watercolor. Again, in these books with Jenny's things, I mostly do watercolor. I do also do some napkin art and then just general art. But for the most part, I always try and do watercolor. Just a little thing about rainy days and our plants. And as you can see, I have not filled these books up. They are when kind of the moment strikes or I have a moment to do it. So this is just a nice, and hear the texture. And look, I started writing in one day, you can tell by the ink, and then over here it was a different pen. So, you know, I'll start writing them on some days, and, you know. And then I do have some, and that was it in this book, I do have some notes in pages so that when I get around to it, I can complete those pages. So that was spring, and as you can see, again, not 100% full, but okay. And this is the thing. When I talk about, you know, Planner Perfect and the system and the journals, and, you know, understand that it's your journals and plan books. You should use them how they work for you. So, you know, if you're finding that, you know, keeping a certain size isn't working, by all means switch. I mean, you can do anything you want in these journals. It's completely up to you. Even if you get a plan book and you decide not to use it a plan book, you can cover up those pages. Pull out some scrapbook paper and you're good to go. Okay, so this one here, as you know, is it's the nature journal for summer, but then I started using this plan book. It's an annual book, and we're going to talk more about that. So I just have this extra journal in here. I have not even used it yet. And then I also have this one I haven't used yet. And I'm thinking what I'm probably going to do in here is, although they won't be spring in nature, I think I'm going to put any extra string I have in any of these, I'm going to put in the book that corresponds, or not corresponds, but all my extra B6 Slim. So I don't want to order a book I already have. So I'm going to take all my extra books that I may have, and I'm going to put them into wherever I can fit them in the B6 Slim. Again, just a storage note. All right, so here is my cover page for my my summer nature journal. I know that my planner friend, Jimmy, from Jimmy.Journals and Plans, I will remember to put her link below. She commented how much she loved this starfish. So I'll tell you, the starfish is a stamp, but then, you know, all the watercolor and the writing and the gold splats, you know, that's all me. But I did not draw that either because I can't draw. And then I had this page. Now, this page, I didn't do it in 2021, but I pulled the picture out to create this page. Here's the funny story behind it. This is our backyard. We have a tree back there. There's some rocks around it. There was a bunny in the yard, and there was a cat I've never seen before who was watching this bunny. So I was watching him because I didn't want him to go after this bunny. Here's the strange thing. Years later, so this was now, I think, 2024. He's now in our house. I don't know if people left him behind, if he was a stray, but it was odd that I've only seen him twice. He was in this picture, and he was on our deck once sitting in a chair. but we accidentally scared him away. So the strange thing is that this was years ago, and so he's now finally ended up in our home. He is now all fixed, ready to go, but he's in our home now, so it's just kind of interesting to look back on it. So I need to journal still about this. Then I had my drawing here that I kind of mimicked. This is eggs, an egg. A bird laid in, made a nest and laid eggs in our fern plant on our porch. So I kind of just did this. Still have to watercolor it and journal. And as you know, I think I showed this. This was a memory from when we were in Sanibel. I love the little sandpipers running along the beach. So I did that page. I still need to journal. So as you can see, I do the page and then I need to journal. So sometimes the page is the day I need to relax, do some watercolor. But sometimes I have to go back and journal. Okay, enough about that. So here is the summer B6 Slim Nature Journal. Let's pull this. I'm trying to find a spot for all these. Because as I said, this is a new setup and it's the same elements, but it's a new setup. And so I'm trying to get everything to work right. Okay, so this is my B6 Slim Zuri, and it is what will become my fall journal, nature journal. I'd already ordered a book to put in here, and again, I have this book as well. These two books are not used. This one I started. I did not do a cover page yet. I did do a deer, that again, watercolor. I just haven't, I haven't done the journaling yet. Let's see, and then I skipped some pages. I don't always go page and page and page. I'll skip around, whatever reason. Again, your journal, you can do what you want. This next page is by far my most favorite spread. So this is my fall. Let's see, I did it in 2021. So it was just my rendition of fall and how much I love fall. All the leaves falling, the different colors. It's all watercolor. And then I just added a quote to it. So yeah, that was my fun one. And at the moment, that is all for fall. Now, again, these are journals that they're not active. So like, my regular size journals, those are the ones I usually work in. So these are kind of like not daily, kind of incidental, if that makes any sense. Okay, so plan books. I have 3 plan books. I will flip through them quickly. And then we're going to talk about a change I just made to the video I just did prior to this, because that's how I operate. All right, so this is May, and this was kind of when I've mentioned that I started the year with Planner Perfect, but I was also doing another planner. And then I just kind of worked into that other planner. So I veered away for a couple months from Planner Perfect. Then I came back in May. That's kind of when I started my subscription again. So we have the month, goal pages. And I kind of do for the month and the goal pages the same setup. Weeklies, I'll highlight the days I do videos. I don't use the weeklies too much. And as you can see, the month started out a little rough because I do have some blank pages because that happens sometimes. I have half-filled pages. I have some where I ran out of room. So again, it's not that you should feel the pressure to work in your books. They should come naturally, or else you're not going to get the most out of them, I guess, And I'm a to-do lister. So scripting for me has been a real big struggle. So I'm trying to work past that. So some days I got scripting, other days it's to-do lists. Sometimes it's a combination of both. In the beginning, so again, to-do list. in the beginning, I was doing both to-do list and memory keeping, and I may script something every now and then. Again, blank, and I'm not going to worry about it. You know, I throw in the stickers wherever. So what I tended to do is when I was doing this way, and even when I changed the layout in future books, the beginning half of the first page is always like must-dos, appointments, reminders, that kind of thing. And then I would do sometimes a list, the to-do list. Then I was either doing memory keeping or continuing the to-do list and then memory keeping. So again, it's if you have a blank book, blank as in, you may get dot grid or aligned, you can set it up and function it however you need it to work for you. It is what it is. Not much going on. And I was still kind of in May, since it was my first real sub box again. I kind of didn't have a whole plan about it. Like I wasn't really sure how I was going to use it. So that's, where you're seeing these blank pages. I was trying to find that momentum. And then again, another half page. Mother's Day, I want to journal a little bit about that here. So I just wrote a note. Weekly. And then I started getting into what I'm doing with it. And then I talked about how I applied for the ambassador program, and yay, I was accepted. So, it's like these are nice to look back on. And as you can see, there's a pattern to what I was doing, because what I started to do was, once I got on so then here I started doing lines, but it was still the same concept. This was more of a scripting day. And again, I just let work whatever was going to work. But it's always fun to look back on. And this is like something, and this is my thing. To me, scripting is my heart telling my brain what to do and what I want. So that's kind of like I was trying to define scripting for me. And I would use, kind of this bubble writing for highlighting like the word of the day, or like something I wanted to stand out. Again, then I got into a busy day, real busy day. Let me flip through, because I did have a page I haven't even written in, but I did have notes about it. So, when the weekend came, I don't really pick up my book. I should, but I don't. And now we used to have Saturday on one day, Sunday on the next. Now we have 2 pages for every day. So that, added a new layer to what I was working on. And then I skipped a page because, as I said, I have notes about it and I haven't finished it. Again, more notes. Nothing on this day. I wasn't even home. We went out to a day trip. Again, another day. I made a note about what happened so I could jot it in there. The tail end of May got a little hectic. And then my month in review, I don't know why. Maybe because it's the end of the book, I always seem to forget the month in review. So that's, a bummer, but it is what it is. And then, so let's see, this is June. Again, standard, set up my goals. Again, this was my month where I was challenging myself to try and use as many journal cards as I could. That was, worked with the process. June was when I really found kind of my groove with it. And I was just loving how it came out. Yeah, it's just, and then this was, again, personal, but a flip out. Now you'll see I do have stickers in here, and I will do a variety of things. So I will incorporate, if I have them, I'll incorporate weather if I remember. It's not something I feel I need to do every day. But a lot of these are like happy planner stickers, and I've got them, so I figure why not use them, right? And then Jenny went live on this day. And, I just kept going with it. So if I have a sticker, and this was a favorite spread, the strawberries, um, I'll use them. I mean, I've got them, so why not use them? And then this goofy picture of my cat meowing, or I think it was yawning. I've been meaning to journal something here, and I just haven't done it yet. Again, another flip down. This was a flip down. I've talked about your journal cards as tip-ins. That is also a video I'll try and remember to record or log for you down below. And again, I have the stickers, so I'm trying to use them. And this, I made a washi tape tie for Father's Day. And this is also another favorite spread. I love the pink. So in this case, whatever the washi was, I tried to do the highlighter that color. And in June, I was using, I think, 3 different kinds of washi, 3 or 4. Appointments, I put in note paper in here as a kind of the same concept, like a flip up of a journal card. But yeah, these are all just fun to look back on. I do go back and fill them in. When I have a moment, I go back and, I'll pull out the books. I know, they're in a system. I fill them in. And then this was when I got my new iPad Air. Yeah, so these were just so much fun to work with. And then on this day, on the 26th, I started working on the printables and fixing them up. So I put a little washi tape tag here, and it just helps me to find it. So when I do it, I can go back and mark it off. It just worked nice to have those little flags. And as you can see, it's stickers, washi tape, drawings, letter fonts and things like that. This was when I did how you can use your plan book as a travel thing, and I did so here's the weird thing. At the time that I did this, I didn't think about it, but I separated the last day of the month from the week. And I probably shouldn't have done that because it kind of cuts off and it's a little jarring. But the last day of the week is here. And then it goes into, how you can do the travel journal. So it's a little bit off. And then that was, again, I didn't do the month in review. I want to start doing that. So I need to somehow, set a reminder, do something that's going to trigger a habit where I start doing that, because I do want to use that. Okay, July. You've probably seen some of this already. Here is the month. Again, nothing different. I have goals. I tend to do the goal pages the same way as well. On 2 of the goal pages, I made our 4th of July plans with the printable that's in the shop. Weeks. You can see I love the bubble. I do love the bubble writing. This is just a note to remind me of what I'm going to put in there when I get back to finishing or filling it in. This, I could fill in some things. I may not know all of them. It's just a blank page. This, I still have yet to write about 4th of July, but I did do a little journal card. I didn't want to tape it in yet until I had done where I'm going to write, because again, you can see it's kind of broken up. So I just have it here floating in the book until I get to this page. So that's one of my goals. I need to finish filling these in, I guess. And it's not because I need them to now. I don't need them now, but I do like to fill them in. This one, I don't know. I might be able to fill some in. Again, if it's to do stuff, I can probably fill it in. But if I can't, I'm not going to worry about it. And then we have you know, just little memories, food I ate. Then I was separating business and video and planners. And, you know, again, you can see a theme with the bubble writing. And as you can tell in here, on this day, I was going to freshen up my desk. So that was a whole project, which is why it's mostly blank. And then we had our new bath put in. I just printed a picture off and taped it in. That'll be another video I do for you, is my, what I used for that, because that's a different thing. Again, same thing. We went to Lavender Fest, just did a little memory. There is currently a Happy Planner D-stash. There's a planner D-stash for the planners that I know I'm not using on my blog. I will also try and remember to put the link below. Again, and then I printed off when I did this video of my narrow collection when I did that. And it's fun to add these little touches. I like that. I'm going to tell you this at the end of the video when I talk about this. Let me get through this. Because we're looking at, you know, there's this size thing right now. And then I just made a little note how my dog hurt her paw. I don't know what she did to it. Didn't get much done, and that was because I was painting that. Well, for 2 weekends I've been painting, and I'm still not done. Shark Week, printed that off. Some colors I want to remember, and I put those in here. And I could now go back and easily tab these just like I did this, so that I can find those pages easily again. So that's something to do after you store and organize your books. You can, you know, definitely tab them, and then you know what you can go back and tab for future reference. This was a graduation, not my daughter's, and so I didn't want to be putting her pictures out there, but as you can see, like, this was an element from her cupcakes, and so I just kind of added that in. Again, as you can see, more painting, nothing got done but paint. And that's okay. You can see here I was angry. I was angry because I was trying to get our Dell Microsoft 365, like, every year I have to renew it. It's a problem. I don't know what it is, but Dell is not the easiest company to get a hold of. And I cannot tell you the number of times I tried to pay the stupid subscription fee, and it just, for a computer place, they don't make it easy. I can tell you that. You know, the papers the documents they send you, none of the links are valid, you know, like, it was ridiculous. And I was so angry at this point. Ugh, as you can see. So we'll cover that up. Just covered up some stuff I didn't want to show. And that was it. Again, another month in review, not completed. But since this was July, I mean, I probably could do that. You know, you look back in your book and you really can fill things in for sure. So there is a quick flip of those. Now let me get back to this. All right. So as you know, I started this annual B6 Slim calendar. And here's what I did from the last video is I have decided to jump, and I'm hoping I won't regret it. I'm planning on jumping. I've already made the change from a narrow. I'm going to jump down to a B6 Slim. So what I did was I changed my subscription to be from a narrow to a B6 Slim. And I'm going to see, I mean, as you can see, I started getting into a groove with it. And so I'm hoping that it's going to work out. But it's going to go in here. So what's going to end up happening is this book will move over to here. And then I ordered, I will be a bit behind with it. I did order a September plan book because obviously the plan book I had was a narrow. So I am going to make the call and I'm going to give it a test. And I'm going to jump down to a B6 Slim for like this, the everyday. So this will be something I can easily carry with me. It will have my annual calendar, my plan book, and then a journal in it. So we'll still have 3 books in it. It's something I can grab and go. And I'm going to just see if that works like a little easier. Again, it'll be less space to fill in, so I'll see if I can acclimate to that. And so that's forthcoming. So I do not have the September narrow book. I did put that up on the buy sell trade group, and it's already gone. So the narrow is gone. B6 Slim is going to come in late, so I will be starting the month late and in the background. So I'll have lots of notes in my spiral books to write into my B6 Slim once I get it set up. But I'll keep you a part of that. So there you go. That is all of my plan books, journals, thus far, I should say. And I do have a few summer journal pages I need to do. And then it's good to go. I'm all set with this. I think I found a groove with it, and kind of like where I want to go with it. And then this will again be the everyday carry, but this will still be set up for the, I guess you'd call it social media. It's not really social media because it's going to have in there the video, the YouTube book, the other calendar, and then projects. So this will still be in the works, but it won't be something that I carry every day, if that makes sense. That information, again, will translate over into here. So I hope that all made sense. But there it is, everyone. There is my quick flip of the journals and plan books that I have thus far. And I hope it, inspired you with some ideas on how you can set up your pages. Whether it be a plan book or a journal, sometimes all you need is a swash of watercolor on a page and you're good to go. So I have not perfected the scripting system. I am not going to say that I have, but you can see that I have found kind of a groove with it. So more to come on the B6 Slim and how it's working for me. But that's it for today. So I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if you like this video, I hope you hit that like button. And if you want to see more of my videos, just hit that subscribe button as well as the bell icon. And that's it for today.